Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach,
And I'm Pepper.
and today we're doing a top 10 list. So we're doing it combined. We kind of talked about these ones.
Yeah.
It is our top 10 games we think need a glow up, or kind of a, I guess, second edition or whatever edition it may be.
Yes.
All of these are pretty much games we really enjoy, so we definitely still recommend getting the versions that are available out there, but we would love to see um, kind of a deluxeified edition.
Yeah.
I think kind of what inspired this was the Castles of Burgundy special edition. That was a
Yes.
game we never bought. I think we'd both played prior to, and I ended up getting this one, and it is pretty fabulous looking. They really took a game that had actually had several editions and versions,
Yep. Yep.
and finally, I think brought it to the level that a lot of people
Yes.
wanted, because it's I think, a really highly regarded game even before this. And yeah, we
Yeah.
just thought we'd talk about 10 games we thought could kind of live up to that same sort of hype, because
Yeah.
especially now that they're also doing a new Puerto Rico as
Which
well.
definitely needed another version.
Yes. They've already
But,
tried this one many
yeah.
times as well. I think it's another game that's in the Board Game Geek Top 100.
Yep.
And they're both kind of the Euro style strategy games.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'm looking
kind of
forward to
makes
that
sense.
one, getting that one
Yeah.
played, and hopefully getting
That
that
one,
edition if it looks good, because they did a fantastic job with Castles.
I agree. And yeah, this is one that neither of us have played so far. So a little bit different circumstances, but yeah, it definitely has me excited
Yeah.
for that one.
Have a few honorable mentions, which it's kind
Yes.
of hard to. There's so many that we looked at. One of them was Alhambra, and while I think that the artwork on the tiles could use an improvement, I mean, it's all right,
Mhm.
but there are already so many. There's like two big boxes, there's a mega box, so it already has a lot of these kind of ultimate editions. But I think maybe the tile size has changed, but I think the artwork has remained the same as far as I could see. So I'm
Mhm.
interested in more of just a complete new look for it, similar to Castles of Burgundy. But
Yeah,
haven't
I
gotten
would
that.
agree.
Would like it, but it already does have it in
Yeah.
a way.
Yeah, I would agree. I was kind of along the same lines. That's why I think this one probably didn't do it, and they have kind of all of those big box editions. I don't know how easy they are to come by, but yeah, I would also say maybe change some of the artwork a little bit more, give it a little fresher look, and then maybe do something a little bit different about those walls, or if there would be some
Oh
way
yeah,
for them to come up with a cool idea to deluxify it.
yeah,
We
yeah.
don't have all the ideas here. Also, let us know in the comments below which games you would love to see maybe a deluxeified edition of, if it ever were to happen, or what your thoughts are on these ones, if you'd change these at all, or if you
I
think they're perfect as they are.
I'd change the gameplay. These walls have screwed me in game so many times. I'd remove them completely.
Oh, come on now.
And then Dominion was, it's like, it would be cool to get like an ultimate everything, or you had mentioned maybe have all the experts and big fans kind of vote on what should and shouldn't be included, because probably not everything for Dominion is great. But if you could get kind of an ultimate edition, maybe with some new artwork, just cohesive artwork throughout from Bodesley or any great artist who would be up
Mhm.
to the task. I mean, that would be pretty cool, but that's a long shot. It could happen. It's a big enough game that something that crazy, that kind of project might actually happen, but you'd have to be as popular as Dominion to even have a chance, because there's so many expansions to this. To think of bringing all of that into possibly a big box edition is crazy.
Yeah,
It's like they
I
said,
would
"Oh, here's
100%
the
agree.
storage solution, just solid cards."
Right. Yeah, I feel like it would be in kind of a, I don't know what I'd say easy, but there would be a way to get cards sorted and stuff if you were
Yeah,
going to have this huge box of cards. It would be a very heavy box for sure.
yeah,
And yeah, really all of Dominion pretty much is cards. So that is one of the other things, like you said. I'd like to see. It would be awesome to see like an Andrew Bosley artwork on all of it, but that's also asking a lot, especially depending
Yeah,
on how many cards you were gonna do.
yeah.
It's a lot of artwork.
Did a lot for Everdell. I mean, all he's done for that. I
That's
mean, that's
true.
probably nearing
That's
a tenth
true.
of
Maybe they're
this.
working on it right now. He's always a busy guy. He's always working on something in the board game sphere. So, yeah, I'd love to see something like that kind of redone artwork with kind of a master box of kind
Yeah,
of some of the, uh, I don't know. I guess how many expansions are they at right now? I don't even remember. I think it's
I'm
like,
not. I'm not sure.
I'd say maybe at their next like big number, if it's 20 or 25 or something, instead
Yeah,
of doing
there's
another expansion, they just do the mega
yeah,
version.
because yeah, there's 55 listed here, but some of those are just individual cards. So
Yeah, promo cards.
I'd say probably at least like maybe 20 expansions they've got.
Yeah.
And then another one that does have a deluxe edition is Coal Baron, one kind of an underrated gem for sure for us that
Mhm.
we've really enjoyed. One of our favorite things is this elevator, which is it's a little warped, ours,
Yeah,
kind of the things, but it works. It still works.
it does work.
But like just some thoughts of like, oh, if you could maybe deluxify that or make it just a little better quality cardboard, that could be
Yep.
really cool. Uh, and the board could it actually looks pretty nice. But upgrading like player pieces from just those little hexagon pieces into something a little better could be nice. I wouldn't touch the paper money personally. I really like the paper money there. Maybe just even
You
more
are
paper
wrong.
money, better paper money. Maybe put a little more detail or something. But
No,
I
no,
like the
no. You need better money overall.
paper money. You need it in one of your
No,
games. Come on.
no, no, no. But
But
yeah,
they do have a newer version of this. I think they have a cover in here somewhere, but
yeah,
we weren't the biggest fans of it. I think this was cover at a
yeah,
certain time. I'm like, I don't know. I
yeah.
really
And then
like the original cover.
I do too. And this guy, I think they kind of put on all of their stuff. They just
Oh,
and I didn't really love the look of him to begin with, and then he's just kind of on everything. So I'm like, okay, which is fine if you do like the look of that. But
yeah,
and I was happy that it was at least going to be more available because I think it was a little harder to get. But then I'm not part of the Kickstarter for that one, obviously,
yeah,
because I I was hoping maybe I would be after I saw, oh, they're going to get
yeah,
a new version. But then I was like, a lot of it seemed like it was at best even with or worse
yeah,
than the original, in my
yeah,
opinion. Um,
yeah.
and now it sounds like the Kickstarter might not be going that greatly or something. I don't know. I don't want to speak too much to it, but I think this could definitely use some
These pieces
upgrade
are
for
nice
sure.
though. So yeah, if
Yeah,
you just
that's
make
true.
another new edition with upgraded just little bits, yeah, you can
Yeah,
go to artwork. Yeah,
I think you could
one
do
of
a
our
little bit better on
favorites.
some of the artwork. Yeah,
Yeah, another one of our favorites. So, and those are kind of honorable mentions, but we're just gonna kind of go through these. There's no really particular order.
yep,
Another one that we have loved and have wanted a new edition of for a long time is Ethnos. Uh,
yes.
kind of bored. It's not that bad looking. It's just the pieces, these bright neon colors, which I love, and they stack amazingly. And they
Hmm.
make it very easy to tell what presence you have on the board.
I do.
So very functional and look really nice, good detail. But then that does not really mesh with the board or the artwork at all.
Right.
This
Doesn't
kind
match
of
with the rest of the game.
medieval fantasy type grimy look does not match with those pieces. So maybe I don't know. We wanted an upgraded version. They did release Chaos Society, which I mean, if I was looking at this, I wouldn't. If you had to tell me what game is this re-implementing, I wouldn't. I don't know if I could tell you. So I think it kind of turns these instead of it turns them into tracks. These
Yeah.
locations. I really
Hmm.
like the having the board presence,
I
and
like
I think
that
you
as well.
do lose that as well. The artwork is I don't know. It's all right. It's good enough, but I'm
Yeah.
just so used to the layout of the other cards and the looks of them.
Yeah.
I really like them. I like the borders and the details on all the cards. So this
I
one
like
was
the
also
fantasy theme too.
Yeah.
even though it is quite generic. I did like that a lot better, and yeah, yeah, the Archaeos Society was another one that I was hoping would be something, and it wasn't what I was wanting. Like you said, it turned it into tracks versus um,
Yeah.
it's area majority, but which is I
It's
guess
just
similar to a track, but uh, it just I like the presence better, but I can see what they were doing. But yeah, and then I do like the look of the cards quite a bit. I just I, I
these
think that
cards are
part's
the
really good. Yeah.
elements. Yeah, I like
No,
the
these
cards.
these
These
cards,
cards I like a
yeah,
lot.
quite a bit. But yeah, I wish the rest of the game kind of matched with
Yeah,
that a
like
little bit
even
better.
like if these colors match the player colors, I think it'd fit more. That might be confusing with the different
Yeah,
locations matching those colors, but so I guess they
yeah,
kind of had their hands tied. They had to come up with different colors, but
yeah. That's true. And
yeah,
then yeah, part of the thing too when we were thinking of this, because Castle of Burgundy had kind of an additional vineyards expansion, which I think
uh,
was new content. Otherwise, I think they kind of brought all most of the prior content into the big box. Was that uh, I think this one we have always kind of just wanted uh, additional factions, and I feel like that could be a uh, good way to bring in more of
yeah.
those, and
Because
then
I think they have
maybe
like
sort the box just a little bit better. It seemed like it has like a good layout, but if you don't lay it flat, it
yeah.
um,
So
kind of gets
underneath
all jumbled
this
up.
big board, there's a couple smaller little cardboard pieces down to even pretty small pieces, and those can get a little shaken up. But yeah, mostly it does a pretty good job. I think
Yeah,
because this is a
and
little older game as well, so uh, custom
yeah,
inserts probably weren't as popular back then. So
yeah, and it looks like this picture in
yeah,
particular keeps
easy.
those things in a little tube thing,
That'd
which
be pretty
yeah,
cool.
you have to do
But
something with those for sure, because that doesn't really have anything holding them in there.
we might
That's
have
probably
to
the one thing
do
that gets
that.
messed up the most.
We need to find some of those tubes. That's pretty nice.
That is pretty nice.
Yeah.
I will agree.
Another one. This one, my goodness. Although there is a different version of this, there is a foreign version that does have a different look. I don't know if any of the images are in there, but this is Notre Dame, whatever you want to say. And this is a classic, and it looks like a very classic game.
That's Stefan
Sure.
Feld again. So
Yes,
Castle of Burgundy designer.
he knows how to get them reprinted. So hopefully this is one that can be because this and these boards, at least ours, are a little warped as well. So
Mhm.
already an odd shape. That color.
Yeah, the cardboard
Not
in this
really.
one in general is a little thin. I
Yeah.
think that's why it caught the warping is happening. I think on this one, and then yeah, with the weird shapes, it just kind of it would be nice to have them actually sit flat.
Yes, it would be.
This is one of
Guy,
the few times, and we may I don't know if we'll mention it for other games. This may be one of the few times we could use some neoprene
ooh,
mats for the
it
different
could be.
player counts.
We
We
always
don't use neoprene much, but if you had little neoprene mats that slid together,
we always joke about neoprene mats. Now we never get them, and they're always just throwing them in there, and they're useless. But it could work for this one. I like that. I like that idea. But yeah,
sorry,
this it it needs it. It really does need it. It's a great game. It's a very quick game, surprisingly,
it is.
but it's a really solid game. With the whole fire and all that, I think Z Garcia or someone on the Dice Tower mentioned it's a perfect opportunity to retheme it a little bit, kind of rebuilding or whatever. But they missed that opportunity slightly. They could still do
They
it,
could still
but
do it. They could
they
still
could
do it.
still
Maybe they're
do it.
working
But
on it.
that's a good uh,
That
way
would have been
to
a good time to do it.
get it back into the mind of gamers.
Yeah,
But I'd still be up for it because I really like the game. And
yeah. You could turn the coins into metal coins, which would be
yeah,
good. I think the scoring tokens could also potentially be metal if you really wanted them to. I think those could be pretty cool.
let's see if they're what version. There was a foreign version. I don't know where to find it. Maybe 10th
But yeah, I don't know.
anniversary.
Would you redo the artwork on this one?
I'd probably redo the artwork. So yeah, here's a Spanish version or something.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
it's very different.
that looks
Um,
pretty cool.
that does look pretty cool. A lot more colorful, for
Yeah.
sure. So like even then, I think that has probably different artwork for the cards as well.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, even something like this, that
Yeah.
looks pretty cool. Big improvement. It might be a little busy, but compared to the other one, at least
Yeah.
there's some color.
Somewhere, yes, maybe somewhere in between or something. Because yeah, it looks maybe a little bit too much. I'd have to actually see it in person.
Yeah,
It looks good, but it might be busy. It's
yeah,
hard to tell. Always in pictures, I feel like sometimes it looks a little bit different in person than in the picture, but
yeah,
overall, it looks pretty good.
yeah, yeah. I like that.
But
So
yeah,
maybe we'll hunt down one of these versions, whatever it is. Switch out the components.
exactly.
Another classic.
Ooh,
A lot of top 100 games in here. I think there's going to be, or at least a couple now.
yeah.
Lords of Waterdeep. A lot of people love this game.
As you
I
see Pepper's rating, he needs a deluxe edition to change his mind. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, you mentioned my rating, it drops. Don't be calling
By
me out.
2.7.
I'll, I should play it again, but I played it once, really, and it's not the most impressive looking, at least the board, especially from far away here. It's similar to Notre Dame. It's just kind of that one kind of tan beige color, kind
Yeah.
of boring. I don't know really the cards, the artwork on the smaller things, if that's good or not.
I think the card artwork was fine if I remember right. I would be fine with different artwork, but I think it works for the game. But yeah, I would definitely I would color up the board a little bit more, give it a little bit more of a pop because yeah, it is very blah looking. There are locations on the board that you can potentially build over, so I could see why that might not be necessarily needing as much artwork. But
Yeah.
overall, I think yeah, it could use a little bit more of a pop, a glow up for sure. And then I think the
Is the insert
uh,
good with this one?
insert, I think overall is pretty good if I remember right. We don't actually own this one. This one's my brother-in-law owns it. It's a little. I always get a little bit worried when things are built exactly, kind of
Oh,
as
yeah.
you can see there. Some of those are kind of exactly perfect for kind of those little bits,
Yeah.
and that's not always the funnest.
Yeah.
And there are upgrades for probably a lot of these games. And my brother-in-law actually has some upgrades where those little cubes turn into little actual workers because they kind of
Oh,
represent
yeah.
different like warriors and mages and whatever clerics, whatever they are. I don't remember off the top of my head, but so I think they could definitely do that if they did a new version of it, and they could do metal coins, and they'd look really cool because they already have kind of those unique shapes. They could do
Oh,
3D printed meeples for sure,
yeah.
um, which I think is something that's become a lot more popular. It definitely probably wasn't when this game came out, uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
but now it's really become more of a thing. And you could probably have each color be a slightly different shape. I think.
Oh,
Trying to
yeah.
remember if
Sure.
there's any reason why they have to be that specific shape. I don't think there is in this game that I can
Yeah.
remember. And you could even have those gems kind of maybe be something a little
Yeah.
bit different too, possibly.
So I think there's a lot of room for deluxeification. Yeah, just custom
Yeah.
meeples, actual metal tokens there, uh, shapes for these cubes, maybe actual gems, and of course, just new board. I would say was a
Hmm.
pretty big part to it.
I would agree.
It's not. I mean, there's little details here and there, which I like. Board with details and landscapes, but just
Hmm.
from the far out shot, it just needs color, needs something.
Yeah,
And I think
because
there would be an audience for it for sure.
yeah, I agree because it kind of makes me think like Stone Age would be a similar type game, but that board I feel like it feels a lot more colorful and it's like
Yeah,
more of an inviting
yeah,
game, whereas this one it's a little bit kind of I want to say mappy, but
yeah,
I don't know if that's the right word
yeah,
for it.
yeah,
I do like that it has a detailed little building kind of stuff in it. So it does at least have that. It's not like just a flat blah surface.
That,
so I'll give them
oh,
that.
that'd be no. It'd be getting a 2 for me.
Wow.
This one, very colorful.
Yes.
This one is not really complaining about what's there. Complain about what's not there. We need expansions to this. We need more dice. These dice are awesome.
We're Sushi Roll Party.
Sushi Roll Party. Just the whole sushi party. Get everything. Put Sushi Go in there as well. It's a big old sushi fest. Big box. Treasure trove box.
Yeah. This is one that I've just always wanted since they had this. Is kind of just a version with more dice and options, kind of like the original Sushi Go Party. Just kind of with the rolling of the dice, kind of just always gives you, well, not always, but it tends to give you a few more options, kind of like the difference between Quirkle and Quirkle Cubes, where you can kind of sometimes hope that maybe I can still get that by re-rolling or something. So I do like that. And I think you could update. I think there are upgrade bits that you can get for like the chopsticks and stuff.
Reroll tokens and stuff.
Reroll tokens. So you can definitely upgrade that kind of stuff if you want it. If you were gonna go all out, you can make that even better than it is.
Yeah.
But really, this one.
It's just we want more stuff. More stuff, more dice, just like what they did with Imperfected Sushi Go.
Exactly.
And an underrated game here.
Which
is actually surprisingly in the top 400.
I feel like I don't hear that talked about that much. So I'm surprised. It does feel like one of those weird Euro games that would like be in the 700, 800, 900s where because I don't know that it's that easily available either or widely available.
So this is Heaven and Ale, which we were talking, kind of looking at it, and we're like, this is Castles of Burgundy. It's kind of got that same board where you put the hex tiles on. They could just make it dual layered, put a little plastic insert tray there to slot your tiles into, just like they did there. Could be cool.
You can make them acrylic tiles if you want. Just like they did in the Castle of Burgundy. I think this one could also use a little bit of a look upgrade. Kind of just all of it could be brightened up a little bit more and just kind of given that same sort of art treatment. It's not terrible art, but it's not. Some of it isn't. It's a little outdated, I think, or outdated feeling. I think at the end of the day, it works for Euro games. It does, but if I was going to get a really nice deluxe edition, I would probably want it just a little bit different artwork. And then you have the middle board. I was trying to think of ways you could make that better. I don't know if there's many ways you could, because it's a little kind of rondel that you're going around and you're kind of buying the different tiles you're placing if you've never played the game before. So maybe you could have them be kind of a double layered board where you're placing them into each of those slots, but I don't know that really matters too much.
It's hard.
Maybe a couple things you could do with it, but overall, I think that part of it is good. Maybe I know those are tokens that you can win in the middle, so maybe you could do something with those to get them to go in that a little easier. Reset that every beginning of every game. Kind of already have that in there. Something like that, maybe. Overall, I think there's a few things you could do, and then you got your little token tracker tokens. You can maybe make that. You couldn't really make that piece double layer that I can think of because you've got so many of them. So you'd have to have at least 5 spots in each space if you're going to have them be able to kind of lock into place there. I don't know if that would work either.
That would.
But maybe if you could think of some way to do it without making the player boards massive and that track huge to fit all of them in there.
Yeah, you could make them like Lego pieces where they just lock onto each other, something like that.
That's true. You could have them be able to stack on each other.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I think I've seen that before in some games. So yeah, that could be cool.
Just use your Ethnos pieces once you get a new edition of that. Use those old pieces and stack them here.
I suppose in Castle of Burgundy they did it so you could stack the little towers when you move
yeah,
up the boat track.
Yeah.
So you could have something similar here.
Yeah. Just do all the same stuff here. That's what we're saying.
But like we said though, if you could get your hands on that, you like Euro games, some strategy, some interesting, a few interesting things. Definitely check this one out.
Great
Check
stuff.
all these out.
9.25 from Pepper here. There we go.
There we go.
Oh, and
now a
slightly
9.
lower at just a 9.
Wow, he's wrong.
Nidavellir. Great. This one already looks phenomenal.
It does.
It's got a great artwork style. She's kind of blurred out in the background here, but these coins are awesome gold looking as well. They're just cardboard, but they do look really nice. And yeah, just the pop of color in this kind of black and white world that they've created. It's just really, really cool.
It really is. I like that a lot. And I feel like when they made Thor Love and Thunder, when they had Gore, the God Butcher or whatever, in his kind of black and white world, it kind of made me think of this game. I don't know.
Similar.
But yeah, I really love the look of this game, and yeah, I think this is one there's a few things. First, I would have kind of if you have the game, the tokens obviously there. You could make them metal. I think that could be pretty cool.
Yeah, someone just painted the edges here. That looks great. I really like the look of that. Just makes me want them to be metal now. Or wood. Wood could be good.
You could have them be wood too. Yeah, wood would look good too. And then kind of going along with that, the kind of tray that they sit in.
3D printed ones. Someone made.
A little plasticky. So yeah, some sort of insert to hold those, because that tray, I feel, doesn't do the greatest job at staying together
if they were
either.
Metal, they could they're a little heavier and they'd hold into place better as well, possibly, because these do fall out. Pretty easy.
That is one of the things. So it's not the worst thing, but it's just kind of sometimes doesn't stay in there as well as I feel like it should. But yeah, so if they were going to redo it, possibly make them metal or wooden coins, upgrade that holder, and then I like the idea. I don't know that it would work for sure, and I'd have to need it to work. Otherwise, I would just go back to this. But if you could make these part of this color, at least maybe just a little banner part, if you could make that like a foil color and make it shine, I wonder if that would look good, but I'm not 100% sure if you had them all foil. I don't know if they'd look similar or not.
Yeah, and that's where I'd be a little worried, because you do lose some of the color a lot of times when you do foil. Like I'm thinking Red Rising Deluxe Edition, when they made those metal cubes, they lost a lot of the color. They ended up doing painted metal cubes, which then kept being very bright and colorful. But yeah, with foil, I feel like that could be a similar thing where it could maybe just start looking the same, or just like a really light faded version of it. I mean, you can get maybe the perfect angle where it looks good, but if it did look good, like how you're imagining, how you want it to be, that would be phenomenal.
Yeah, I think 100%. And then, otherwise, maybe you could have it for some of the champions. Maybe you could just have a few of them be foil too. If it didn't work, because there are the different types of scoring conditions for those. So I'm sure there's some of those that you could kind of do that too. And maybe if there was some way to hold those a little bit better too. I feel like the trays hold them, but it's a lot of them. So I don't have a great suggestion for that one. It's just a lot of cards. So it's tough to do without having 100 trays, which doesn't become that helpful anyway, because then you're having to look at every single one of them. Either way, that's a tough thing to do, I think.
Yep. Another classic game here.
Oh boy.
Another old looking game, and one that does have upgrade options. The main thing here is these cardboard tokens. they do have upgrades, I believe, to these. Similar to Quacks of Quedlinburg, which is the bag builder, drawing these cardboard tokens out of the bag. We upgraded those, and it was expensive. I think we got it from Board Game Geek, the Geek Up bits. But they were worth it for sure because you're just always grabbing those out of the bags. It's so much more fun and enjoyable, more satisfying hearing the clicking, clacking of the plastic bits in the bag. And I think that's a part of this that would be an awesome improvement as well.
I agree. And if I remember right, I think the bags in these ones are a little small.
They do look a
I
little
could maybe
small.
make them a little bit bigger and change the drawstring because if I remember right, those weren't the greatest either.
Oh, yeah.
I think they were kind of a texture that wasn't. Are they like a nylon thing? For some reason, I remember them not feeling the most secure.
Yeah.
We might have even had one come loose and come out, possibly. I don't remember. But yeah, upgrading those to do that. Possibly having a double layered player boards to
that could be
slot
good.
the tokens in would be cool.
Yeah.
And then
would you change the artwork over for the boards for this map?
I think I'd probably change it for the map a little bit. Give that more of a Five Tribes deserty look. It's kind of just got a kind of a normal Euro look right now. Yeah, it's got a little bit, I guess, but I would maybe try to give it a little more of a shine. That I don't know. For some reason, when I think of Five Tribes, I think of blah beige done right, but
blah beige done right.
But I don't know. Yeah, I'd probably do that, and then I don't know if I'd. You could maybe change the buildings and make each player's kind of unique to them. If you wanted to. I don't know if that's necessary, but you could do that.
Yeah, and you could just upgrade all the little bits here into plastic or possibly wood as well. And yeah, like Castles of Burgundy had all different levels of deluxification that you could do. So yeah, you could really do anything because ours was super deluxe, and there was still a bunch of things. Like I think you could get acrylic tiles, but we just settled for I think it was the cardboard tiles. But then there's a bunch of wooden stuff as well. You can get minis for your tiles. So you could do so many things. Like the player cubes here, they can be customized into meeples or something.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of different things you could upgrade. Ooh, those gears would be a fun upgrade.
Oh yes.
Make those wooden for sure.
But
a lot of good stuff.
One, I think this list should be next, and I think there's expansions to this as well. So build those in to the box.
Could do something new for it too if you wanted.
Yeah, for sure.
Add a small expansion or some new expansion.
Another classic. I think it's destined. It's gotta have it.
It's probably one that seems like it could be most likely. I guess I don't know. Rights wise, that probably comes down to something too. Who owns it?
Would you change?
Which I think it was just Capstone. I think Capstone Games just got it somewhat recently. So maybe when. Oh boy.
Would you change?
I would change the cover.
It's so iconic, though.
It is, but I would change it.
You had to keep these guys in there somewhere. They'd have to appear in the game somewhere. You gotta
maybe. We'll see. But yeah, I would see if there's a way you could do this cover again with the same three people, do the same cover, but
that'd be
updated.
I want to see it. I'm sure the people have tried to remake it, do things like that. So, and next up, we have an interesting choice for this one. That is a pretty clever choice. Ganz Schon clever, or that's pretty clever, or all of its re-implementations. This is one you were pitching, and I think you were pitching a full, complete series in one box.
Yes, I think you could do that, and then you could, because all of them use kind of the same number of dice, I believe, and they use dice kind of in similar ways, from what I remember. Like the white die always being added with a blue die. I think some of the colors are a little bit different from box to box, but I think
you could make it a universal thing.
Yeah, I think you could kind of reprint kind of how they are. And then I was thinking instead of having them all be kind of pads of paper. You could have them just be, um, I was going to say neoprene mats, not neoprene mats. You don't
No,
want that.
not.
Dry erase boards for all the different ones that they have. They could introduce a fifth one, which I'm
Yep.
sure will eventually happen anyway. And then I just thought they could have some really, really nice dice for whatever whatever colors they end up using.
Yeah, get
They
like
could
an
make a really
official,
nice
like,
set.
get a metal tray there for the dice to be put on.
Yeah,
Something fancy like that. I
I
mean,
think
it
that could
works
be
really
pretty
well
cool
as
too.
it is. But
Yes.
yeah, I think that there'd probably be division in the fans as to what colored dice they ended up using.
Yes, I think there could be some of that for sure. But yeah, this one's definitely more of just a big box way of getting all of them together and just having
Yeah.
kind of the highest quality of dice. I just know there's really great dice out there, so I'm sure if you kind of polled the community of people that play Ganz, Schon Clever, you could come up with the best look to your dice, colors to choose, and then yeah, just having the
Ooh,
different mats.
magnetic version, handmade. Well done to whoever did this. That's
Hmm,
pretty cool.
it is pretty
Oh,
cool.
I don't know if that's the usability, but it looks really cool.
Yeah, that does look pretty good.
Maybe that's something to consider.
There we go.
That'd be an interesting.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And this one was one that I think it's another one of those Euro style games that has a little bit more of a deserty, dry look
Yeah.
to it. And yeah, there's a few things. I think the most obvious one, the biggest one, probably one you'd be most excited about, is doing something with those boats to carry those cubes.
Boats,
Uh,
yes, you need something for those boats. They're just cardboard pieces in those boats currently. But if we've seen a few kind of 3D model boats or things that carry cubes, I think merchants or whatever the one. There's a lot of merchants. So what was the one with the variable player powers? The that we played in Vegas that had boats. It's a lighter weight. Delicio loves
Merchant's Cove.
Merchant's Cove. Yeah, that one has boats in there. With put the
Yeah.
little people in. And, this one, it needs 3D boats.
Yes,
Could be
where you can
miniatures.
put those cubes in.
They could be cardboard assembled, but I hope they stick together if they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be really cool. And the cubes as well. They're nice, pretty big cubes as it is.
Which
But
make
if
them nice
you
for stacking.
Yep. But then if you could add maybe a little more detail on them, like After the Empire has a deluxe edition with those cubes that has detail. Just is really cool way to have cubes. But
Mhm.
yeah, like you said, I don't know if it would stack as well.
Right. But you could probably design them to have that detail and still stack
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
especially if you're focusing on making it the best possible product. And yeah, this
yeah.
I don't know if I would change colors or not. It kind of fits
The,
with what you're
the
doing,
colors
but
are pretty good as they are.
yeah,
Those are good basic colors that stand out from each other. Like the
mhm,
gray is just the perfect. It's not too close. It's not too dark where you confuse it with the black. It's not too light where you confuse it with the white. I
right.
think
So
they
yeah, if
nailed
you
that.
did do any detail on them, you had to make sure that that didn't change that, where they
So
would start looking the same. Oh boy.
that would look nice. That would look nice. And they also
Uh,
have this might be a little too far, but there's probably certain parts. I like this one on the left.
yeah,
Up here, and I think they have the link for Etsy. So shout out to them. They have the file link if you want to go check it out. Yeah, some of these might be cool. Some of them might just maybe be more work. Uh,
yeah.
but they
I
actually have
like
a
them.
mixture. I like them. I just hope it's usable.
Yeah, I think these actually look pretty cool. If you were going to be doing something, I think this is a great idea for sure. Maybe you could change it up a little bit. Maybe if you thought of a slightly better way to present, the different
Yeah,
pieces on the board there. But yeah, I think something like this would be pretty cool. Yeah, the boats. I think there's a lot of different ways you could approach boats for sure. And a lot of these already look really, really good. And then I'd maybe um, give these the 5 tribes treatment again in the desert. I think if you made their now I'm doubting myself. Are the 5 tribe tiles like kind of like the King Domino tiles where they have kind of a I don't even know what it's
I
called.
don't think they're shiny. I don't think they have the gloss.
Maybe they don't. But give them the King Domino gloss then. Give this Imhotep the gloss.
Imhotep needs the gloss. Okay, let's see. What do we got here? I don't believe they
Maybe
have
I'm remembering it wrong, but I feel like I really like the look of these tiles, but maybe I think now that I'm seeing this, maybe not.
Yes, I don't think they have the gloss. Now you're thinking, oh, this is a hideous game.
Oh, this is hideous. These need the King Domino treatment of the
Yes, these
glossy.
need double the thickness. Here's another honorable mention. King Domino. 5 tribes.
That's true. I wouldn't
Deluxe.
mind seeing the meeples get
Oh yeah.
maybe some screen printing
Screen
or make them
printing.
slightly unique. I know that kind of could be a problem because you're pulling them out of the bag initially to set up the board. But if you can avoid being like, oh, feeling around, you just
Yeah.
quickly put them
Just
out
throw them up.
there.
It's just one time you got to do it. So that'd be good too. So
Yeah.
we got another honorable mention in there. We can't ever just name the amount of games we say we're gonna name.
Never ever. And then
Last one
last but
here.
not least by a mile. Oh boy, help. You can already see it on that board
Yes.
there.
Yeah, and there people have deluxeified this and changed things up a little bit, and we have deluxeified ours. Haha. That's the vibe of the game, I think. The health
It is.
and the laughing. The volcano, it's erupting. You're putting your people into the center of this town, Pompeii here, and then halfway through the game, the volcano erupts, and you got to race everybody out, and you're just one by one picking up tiles and placing them on the board, trying to leave room for your people to escape and no room for others to escape. And like the board could use an upgrade. It feels old. Feels like they were playing this in Pompeii.
It really does.
When that erupted, but it does add a little bit to it. Like I think just because it is just an ancient thing, it's fitting actually. But then they have this plastic rolled up volcano that sticks through the board, and it's equally great. But it's just like a totally out of nowhere different feel.
Yes. Yes, kind of like Ethnos, where a plasticky piece that feels like it doesn't necessarily quite match with the rest of it. It's definitely the star of the show.
It is.
Because then you'll toss some people in there. But yeah, you definitely need to keep the volcano. We could make it. I would be fine if we could just get it if it fit in a box and you wouldn't have to unwrap it and wrap it back up and just be able to kind of put it in that whole spot.
Yeah,
I would like that.
Do you want it more
something like that?
Of like more of an actual detailed 3D mini something.
I'd like that, and then I'd probably change the look of the board a bit. It fits, but I would change that. And then the tiles I think I would make more like oh boy, if we can get that effect.
Little smoke machine in there.
That.
Oh my goodness, it's amazing. It's very insensitive to the victims, but it's been long enough. We can enjoy. We can have fun with this. But yeah, the tiles. What were you saying about the tiles?
Oh, I would maybe. I mean, I would probably change the artwork. It makes me think of Subterra 2. I would do the tiles like that, the volcano tiles, and then have because those don't some of those have some foil on them, and then have. I think I would like that on this one because it's kind of a similar magma kind of flow through, so really shine these up quite a bit.
Yeah.
But then I think the rest of the board, if you're going to do that, I think then for sure the board has to change because I think these fit with the board a little bit more.
Yeah. Kind of the whole feel. And then, of course, the pieces. I almost
something we already upgraded, but
we did upgrade. We found some, I think on Etsy or something, 3D printed little meeples, the size that had little togas on, and they're pretty awesome. So that definitely enhances It shouldn't, but it does enhance the gameplay over just these little hexes, cylinders.
Yes.
So there's a lot you can do to upgrade this game. It
There is.
already has a pretty cool table presence. It's probably our
Mhm.
best table presence for a very old looking game.
Mhm. I would agree. This is kind of I mean, it's not, the mechanisms all are really good, so it doesn't necessarily fully remind me of this, but kind of feels like something Restoration Games would go back and do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not kind of like some of them that they do, where it's, Dark Return to Dark Tower. What's the other? I'm totally blanking on them right now, but the Fireball Volcano one that they did.
Fireball Island, or
Island, yeah. Some that are more like maybe toy-like in the before
past.
they were reprinted. Whereas this one isn't necessarily that, but it feels like more of a toy. Just a great time throwing meeples into the volcano.
It deserves
Just a board
attention.
game.
It's just a board game. 681. It deserves all the love. It's from designer of Carcassonne, right? Klaus Jürgen Reed. Another great game from him. Another great game.
Go check it out.
So it actually is pretty old. It's about time.
It is about time to bring this one back.
Have any other versions, expansions? A little bit. Yeah, they need more.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And yeah, those are kind of the ones we could think of. Games that, like I said, we all really enjoy. So we recommend them all. You definitely can go get the versions that are out there right now. If they are, some I think are more available than others. But yeah, definitely we recommend them all. Go check them out if any of them sounded interesting to you. But otherwise, let us know what you think. Which ones you think should be on there. I'm sure there's other ones even in the top 100 that we either haven't played, so we don't really know. I think Concordia was one that we've played once, or Trois as well. We've played once.
It's not
and
quite
those
enough.
Feel like they could maybe be in a way, but yeah, at the same time, we'd see. There's definitely things you could do to all of them, but then they all come at a price as well. So there's that part of it. If it could be more affordable and look maybe not, like a brand new car, sometimes that's better as well.
Sometimes the size of one too.
Right. But yeah, that's all of those. Check out our other videos on our channel. Subscribe if you've made it this far. We'd really appreciate that. We're slowly making our way up. Maybe one day we'll be at 1,000 subs. We'd love that. We have content on the Downfall of Pompeii, so
you do
quite a bit. That one got you excited? Go check that out. But otherwise, we hope to see you on the next one. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on our content.